Hello, what do mediators do? I'm John Hind, a mediator, a lawyer, coach and trainer. Now, in most cases, what people really want to ask me is, how are you going to help us avoid court and sort out the child arrangements and the finances for ourselves when I can't even talk to my former partner, let alone trust them? In this video, as part of my mediation series, I focus on some key mediation skills used by the mediator during the 5 main stages of mediation. In doing so, I'll hopefully leave you with a picture, a kind of structure and a broad understanding of how it all works, and hopefully an interest to find out more. Now, I believe that the mediator's main aim is to motivate, enable and support separating couples to reach their own proposals. The important words here, of course, are their own proposals, because many separating couples find it hard to believe that this is going to be possible in mediation. So, what does the mediator do to achieve this? Well, firstly, the mediator sets up the mediation process. Setting up the mediation involves telephone calls, separate confidential meetings, which I talk about in much more detail in a separate video. Now, as you can imagine, it's not simply a case of calling 2 people and asking them if they want to sit in the same room to try and sort matters out with me. How do you feel, for example, if you got a call like this out of the blue? There is far more skill involved. It can take time, patience, and very careful handling of a person's concerns before they're prepared to meet with the mediator, let alone mediate. Well, then there are the pre-mediation meetings with each person, often referred to as MIAMs, or mediation, information and assessment meetings. These are used to prepare each person and the mediator for the mediation and are crucial to its success. You know, the last thing anyone wants when the mediation starts is to have 2 people who feel kind of compelled to be there, who are badly informed or with false expectations about what's involved and what can be achieved. Secondly, the mediator helps identify the issues. Identifying the issues between a separating couple is also a very skilled process. It's not just about practical issues involving the children, the home, the pensions, the income and the maintenance. The success of most mediations rests or falls on the mediator correctly identifying and working with the underlying emotional and psychological issues that are kind of driving the dispute and the conflict. Unless these underlying interests and concerns are exposed, managed and sufficiently satisfied, mediation is unlikely to succeed. The mediator is also skilled at managing destructive patterns of communication and power imbalances in whatever varied forms they appear in mediation. It's crucial that these should not be allowed to define or shape any of the outcomes in mediation, and it's the mediator's job to ensure that they don't. Number 3, exploring the options. Having identified the issues, the mediator will encourage the couple to consider different views and perspectives and options, which they may not have considered before coming into mediation. It's very common for someone coming into mediation to have a fairly fixed idea about what they want, especially if they've been working with their lawyer to kind of build their case, which is quite normal. They may also come into mediation with their past experience of what to expect from their former partner firmly in mind, much of which may be negative. It's the mediator's role to help the couple overcome these barriers and explore options for their future in a kind of positive and constructive way. Number 4, we're now at the heart of it, building agreement. Having helped the couple identify a series of options which might work for them, the mediator's focus will turn to explore the reality of these options from each person's point of view, and of course the point of view of the children. At this stage, the emphasis may be on hypothetical questions such as, well, if you did this or if you did that, how would that affect each of you and the children? The mediator will ensure that sufficient time is given to look at each option from each person's perspective and what each might mean in practice for them and their children. The mediator will also ensure that each option is fully understood, and it will encourage each person to listen with an open mind in an attempt to understand each other's perspectives, their thinking and the feelings behind each option. You know, if an agreement is going to be possible, it's likely to become necessary at some point in the mediation for each person to kind of give up some of what they want in return for receiving the things most important to them. The mediator has to create the environment within which all this becomes possible. And number 5, implementation of the agreements reached. As a family lawyer, I reckon about 70% of the advice I used to give my clients could have been described as information rather than advice, which is information that a mediator is perfectly able to provide. There are kind of 2 points here I want to make. Firstly, it's often difficult to predict what a judge might decide, which is why legal advice from 2 lawyers, based on the same set of facts, can quite often differ. The other point is that there is so much free and useful information available on the internet, although I have to say much of it, well, can be quite confusing. The mediator has an important role in providing information about the law and other useful resources when needed, and to do so in a clear and a balanced and neutral way. Doing this in a balanced and neutral and mutual way is where the skill lies and can be crucial to the success or otherwise of the mediation. And also kind of recording the proposals reached in mediation in a format that's clear, comprehensive and practical for the separating couple as well as their lawyers is an important aspect of mediation. So, in summary, the mediator in fact does so many important things to motivate and to enable and to support the separating couple to reach their own agreements during these kind of 5 stages I've talked about. Number 1, setting up the mediation for the couple is so important. Helping them identify the main issues to be resolved and stay focused on those, and then helping them to explore all the options from kind of different perspectives. Building towards agreement through a process of, well, reality testing amongst others, and finally preparing them to properly implement those proposals. You know, there's not enough time really in this video to cover everything, and in any event it's fair to say that, well, no explanation can be a substitute for trying out mediation for yourselves. So see whether it works for you, of course. But I hope that this video has, well, it's given you food for thought and a bit more of an insight into what we do. Thank you very much for watching.